Tonight, our I-Team is going to give all of us exclusive access as Allen Police and the DEA raid warehouses that supply hemp stores with what investigators say are illegal products.
As our Andrea Lucia reports,
8:45 in the morning, coastal freight yard, rain hammering the pavement hard enough to drown voices. 6 armored trucks sit in a semicircle under floodlights, rear doors wrenched open, tarps shredded, water pooling under stacked rifles and grenades laid out on plastic sheeting. Agents in DHS jackets count and tag boxes, handheld scanners beeping every 2 seconds. 2 cuffed men kneel against a blue container at 6 meters, heads down, soaked through. A Coast Guard helicopter hovers at 80 meters altitude, rotor wash pushing the rain sideways in white streams. On a folding table 5 meters from the trucks, a laminated board lists totals in thick black marker. 200 rifles, 70 rocket tubes, thousands of rounds. One agent wipes his face with his sleeve. Another says the line that cracks the calm. Command, second convoy unaccounted for. Every sound stops except the rain. 6:40. 2 hours earlier, Highway 17 cutting along the marshland, 20 kilometers inland. 3 flatbed trucks run westbound at 100 to 20 kilometers an hour, each with identical logistics markings, reflective paint catching the early light. An HSI Suburban shadows them from 80 meters back, interior lights off. Inside, 2 operators watch a tablet feed from an MQ-9 drone, orbiting at 900 meters altitude. The live image shows all 3 trucks in one frame. Steady lane discipline, no deviation. The operator on comms calls their position to the command trailer. Convoy in sight, kilometer marker 42. The delay is invisible, just milliseconds stacking into minutes. They don't know the feed is running 5 minutes behind real time. At 6:41, they believe the convoy is still ahead of them. It's already 2 kilometers past. The intercept builds at 6:43. 2 highway patrol units merge from the shoulder. Sirens off, blue lights dark until last second. Tires hiss on wet concrete. 1 unit pulls in front, 40 meters ahead of the lead truck. Another locks position 20 meters behind the rear. A helicopter, call sign Falcon 2, hovers at 600 meters and matches speed. Rotor blades thump through mist. Copy visual. 3 targets boxed, the pilot transmits. The field commander watches 3 dots on a screen and nods. He tells his team to stand by for coordinated stop at kilometer 72. Radios click. No one checks the timestamps. The convoy on the ground is already elsewhere, invisible to the eyes watching through a delayed lens. 6:45. The trucks pass a service road exit, half hidden by fog. The lead driver flashes his hazard lights twice, a signal that looks random to the patrol car ahead. A 4th vehicle, smaller, lower, unmarked, turns from that service road and merges behind the column for just 300 meters before braking right again. The highway curve hides it from the helicopter's line of sight. A thermal camera blurs in rain glare. The operator watching the tablet taps the feed twice, trying to sharpen focus. The image freezes for a heartbeat, then continues. Still 3 vehicles, same spacing, he says. It's wrong. 1 truck is a decoy, already programmed to loop at the next interchange. The rest are running a different route entirely, 15 kilometers ahead, toward the coast. 6:49, in the command trailer parked near the marsh. 4 screens line the forward wall, showing feeds from drone, highway dash cams, and patrol body cams. One display lags by 12 seconds, another by 30. An analyst notices but assumes buffering. The operations lead leans over a radio handset, says, "All units, maintain current intercept. We have confirmation of target identity." Every person in the trailer nods. The time code at the bottom of the feed reads 06:45:23. Actual time outside is 06:49:02. 4 minutes, gone. On screen, the convoy appears to slow. In reality, it's already clear of the highway and dropping speed for a sharp left turn to the Industrial Belt Road. 6:52. The patrol units make their move. One cuts in front of the lead flatbed, braking to 60 kilometers an hour, lights flashing. The second blocks from the rear. The drivers comply immediately, hands on dashboards. The decoy works perfectly. "All stop confirmed," the sergeant calls over comms. He steps out into the rain, weapon drawn low, approaching the lead cab. The driver raises his hands, speaks in calm English, offers papers. The agent checks the cargo straps. Tarp, tie-downs, visible steel crates. He radios the trailer. "Visual confirmation. Everything matches manifest." The command trailer logs the report as capture complete. They have the wrong trucks. At 6:55, an HSI team checks the first crate. The hinge seals are unbroken, the serial tags real. They pop one corner open with a crowbar. Inside, sandbags and scrap metal. Not a single weapon. One officer frowns, says, "This can't be it." A thunderclap rolls across the marsh. The helicopter hovers at 100 meters now, wash flattening the wet grass. "We're off by something," the pilot says over intercom. In the command trailer, the data lag shortens for 3 seconds as the system resyncs, revealing another heat cluster 18 kilometers south, heading toward Port Tully. "Wait, that can't be right," the analyst says, scrolling back the timestamp. It's live data catching up. The second convoy is already near the water. 7 o'clock, inside the Port Authority lot, 2 kilometers from the shoreline. The rain hits sideways, visibility 70 meters. 3 trucks identical to the highway, decoys back into loading bays, beside grey warehouses marked 14A through 14C. A dock worker in an orange vest waves them in. He doesn't see the convoy's tail lights cut off mid-move, the engines still idling. Inside warehouse, 14C, a forklift lifts a crate from the first truck, metal on metal, echoing under corrugated roofs. From outside, it looks like routine cargo transfer. The only camera nearby is a broken dome unit on the corner post. The Coast Guard cutter Talon, 4 kilometers offshore, logs radar movement of small craft near the piers, but marks them as maintenance vessels. 7:07, command reconfigures. The drone shifts orbit eastward, dropping altitude to 500 meters. Its camera finds the port complex through fog. 3 rectangles of heat match truck positions. The operator zooms in to 40% magnification. Figures move around the cargo doors. "Positive contact," he reports. The operations lead glances at his watch. "Deploy assault team to 14C. Hit hard." The decision seems flawless. On screen, the feed stutters again. Data compression from rain scatter. When it clears, the trucks in the frame are static. What no one realizes, the image they're seeing is 10 minutes old. The real trucks are already 30 meters deeper inside the compound, transferring crates onto a low-slung barge under the crane gantry. 7:12. Coast Guard boarding team Alpha rolls in from the service road. 2 Suburbans and a Bearcat armored vehicle, headlights cut. Engines idle at 15 meters from the fence line. Inside, the team leader checks the digital floor plan on a tablet. "Target structure 14C. Entry through side door, right angle to main bay." He checks his watch. 40 seconds to move. "Execute." The Bearcat's engine roars, ramming the chain-link gate. Sparks jump. The team piles out, boots hitting puddles. "Federal agents!" they shout. Flashlights cut through steam from the rain. Inside the bay, a forklift driver freezes mid-turn, hands up. Crates everywhere. The camera mounted on an agent's helmet shows stacked pallets to the ceiling. They look full. They aren't. Half the containers are empty shells, pre-weighted with concrete. 7:15. The second team clears the adjoining bay. Nothing but tire tracks and dripping water. The drone above shows faint heat shapes moving north along the pier. 4 signatures. "We've got runners," the operator says. On the ground, no one hears him yet. Comms lag under bandwidth congestion. The firefight begins almost by accident when a plainclothes guard at the edge of the bay pulls a pistol and fires 3 shots. The rounds hit metal beams, sparks bright white against grey. Agents return fire, 3 controlled bursts. Echoes roll between walls. The smell of propellant cuts through the rain-damp air. One suspect goes down near a forklift. Another disappears behind a stack of crates. Command hears gunfire 12 seconds late. 7:20. The team leader orders perimeter lockdown. "No exits," he says, voice clipped. The Bearcat blocks the main gate. Sirens from local patrols approach from 3 kilometers out. Overhead, Falcon 2 circles at 300 meters, searchlight scanning the yard. Through the fog, it catches movement on the north pier. 2 trucks with engines still running, ramps down to a flat-deck barge. "We've got loadout," the pilot calls. "They're boarding." The command trailer listens to the same feed, 30 seconds delayed. They hear it after the trucks are already on the water. The vessel's engines rev, diesel smoke rising in thick grey plumes. Wake forms behind the hull, pushing against pilings. 7:25. The firefight at the warehouse stops. 1 wounded agent, 1 suspect dead. Team Alpha regroups under the loading awning. Soaked and breathing hard, radios crackle with overlapping calls. Pier, they're gone," someone says. The team leader looks toward the coastline, where fog has swallowed the waterline. On radar in the command trailer, a new contact appears, moving at 12 knots, heading 110 degrees east-southeast. "That's them," the analyst says. The field commander orders pursuit authorization. The cutter Talon powers up turbines, leaving its anchor point at speed. But it's 3 nautical miles too far south. Every move they make now is chasing ghosts of timestamps. 7:30. The drone lowers to 300 meters to track the wake. Its thermal camera catches the departing barge for 10 seconds before cloud cover blocks view. On screen, a grey smear against darker water. The operator adjusts gain. Image breaks into pixels. "Lost visual," he says. "Reacquiring." The field commander slams a fist against the console, orders the helicopter to pursue visual at max range. Falcon 2 banks northeast, speed 160 kilometers an hour, searchlight cutting the mist. The pilot calls out bearings every 5 seconds. "Heading 115, speed constant." Then static. The helicopter's transmission fades as weather thickens. The pursuit line breaks apart into noise. 7:35, inside the trailer. The operations lead recalculates interception geometry. The barge's last known position, combined with drift and current, puts it near open sea in 8 minutes. The cutter Talon can't close distance in time. "We're losing the window," an officer says. The lead doesn't answer. He watches the delay counter on the top of the drone feed. 290 seconds. And realizes it's the margin that just killed their chase. Physics has overtaken command. No human order moves faster than those meters of water under the hull. 7:45. The port compound quiets. The rain eases. The captured trucks sit under guard, steam rising from their hoods. Agents form a line, logging recovered crates, weights, and cereals. 92 total, 29 empty, 63 with inert filler. From overhead, the drone pans slowly across the wet concrete, recording tire ruts leading straight to the pier. Each rut ends where the barge had been. The operator adds an annotation. "Departure vector unknown." The feed finally sinks to real time. Nothing left to see. 8:10. The cutter Talon reports negative contact after 20 kilometers of pursuit. Radar returns show only fishing vessels and buoys. Command orders return to port. Fuel state critical. The helicopter lands at a forward pad 15 minutes later, rotors still spinning as crew climb out. They've logged 90 minutes of flight time, 1,000 liters of fuel, 0 visual reacquisition. The mission clock continues to tick as if motion still matters. 8:30, agents at the dock begin offloading evidence. Floodlights turn the rain into bright vertical lines. A single red cooler lies forgotten beside a crate. Inside are 2 phones wrapped in foil and a GPS tracker with its battery removed. An analyst bags them, marks time. 8:33. In the command trailer, one of the techs overlays 2 map layers, captured route and escape route. The lines intersect for 6 minutes along the highway before splitting forever. "We had them," he says quietly. Nobody answers. 8:45. back where it began, floodlights reflecting off puddles, the captured weapons sealed in plastic, helicopter hovering at 80 meters again, the same two suspects kneeling. The board on the table still shows the wrong total because half the shipment never touched this yard. An officer calls for updated counts. A radio on the table crackles. Static first, then a voice. New ping, 30 nautical miles east. Too far, too late. The data lags again by 5 minutes. 9 o'clock. The command trailer's screens display dual timelines. The highway intercept frozen at 6:52, and the barge radar trace frozen at 7:35. The gap between them is time itself, unbridgeable. Every event logged, every sensor calibrated, every move recorded correctly inside its own frame. Together, they form a perfect record of being wrong. The system keeps running. The monitors hum. Outside, the tide keeps rising against the pier, pushing the captured trucks an inch closer to the water every minute. The rain starts again, steady, precise, as if counting seconds. 9:20. Agents begin tearing down the perimeter. Evidence boxes roll onto flatbeds headed for the regional depot, 20 kilometers inland. The helicopter refuels at a portable tank. One operator wipes condensation off his tablet and sees the sync clock finally hit 0 delay. The live image shows nothing but open sea and low cloud. He leaves it running anyway. The hum of the generator fills the silence. Another agent checks his watch, notes 9:21, and starts the incident report. The first line reads, "Seized cargo verified." The second line remains blank. By 9:45, the port is empty, except for a handful of troopers at the gate. Water drips from the crane cables, steady and slow. The command trailer powers down screens one by one. On the central monitor, the last frozen frame shows the convoy boxed on the highway. Perfect symmetry, textbook containment. It's an image of control that never happened. 10 kilometers offshore, the escaped barge moves under a different name. Transponder off, wake dissolving into gray sea. The operation is technically concluded, paperwork complete. The system logs success. The clock keeps running.